guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on the Impossible Dream. It is a summer transfer special today, although it's not the summer, as we move from Season 9 into Season 10. Where does time go? And, well, we have money to spend. We have about 22 million, despite having spent 8 or 9 already. If you missed the last episode, then we introduced you to some new signings there. But I think my main goal, apart from strengthening the squad this season, is I really want to try and take care of the squad dynamics. A lot of these players here, this is what I basically got to ask myself, is this guy worth the fight? And as I think I said at the end of the last episode, I think Albert Jonsson being Icelandic is worth a fight. Deanna is maybe worth the fight because he's quite good. I don't know that Parisi is worth it. I don't know that Icelandic is worth it. And Tom Jones, I'm increasingly thinking, perhaps is not worth it. So the biggest problem I've got is actually Albert Jonsson. If you can see here, there's 3 players that agree that he should leave. And that is where dressing rooms can start and turn against you. So we've just got to be a little bit careful here, see what we can do. We've got money to spend. We get 95% of anything that we bring in. So if we are to sell players, we will get that money to spend back. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one. And well, hopefully it's going to be a good one. Well, it's going to be a busy summer, lots of money to spend, but for now, let's sit back and relax with my favourite show, The Real Housewives of Grindavik. Ooh. Hey, Jonsson, Iskala, Jones, Deanna, what are you doing here? This is my private office. All of you are happy. Every single... Well, this changes my plans. Alright, so welcome back to Dynamics, where things have cleared up, haven't they? So everybody is happy apart from Parisi, who I'm more willing to sell anyway. Even if he is happy, I might look to move him on this summer anyway, but or winter or whatever, off season. But yeah, it's made things a little bit more difficult for me now, because if those guys are happy and they're the best guys that we can get, yeah, I don't really know what to do here. Now, we had 63 players at the club. That is too many players. 38 in the first team. Sorry, I just saw that. So yeah, this bodes the question: what do we do from here? And the answer is I don't really know, because as we find sometimes, in these sorts of series, it can be difficult to get players in. We can kind of be that we have a lot of money for wages, but it even sometimes, like, I think we can offer up to 60, almost 64 grand a week or something along those lines. That's sometimes still not enough to A, get a good player in, and then B, also, we have to pay him a little bit extra because, if you have a choice between, say, Grindavik and a solid team in one of the bigger European leagues, they're more likely to go there than us. So, yeah, we are going to strengthen. I'm just not quite sure how we're going to do that just yet. But the good news is that the players are happy. Now we're out of Europe, they're all happy again. Alright, we have our first departure, and it is Parisi, 2.2 million. Ideally, we could have got more. I probably should have added in a sell-on fee as well, but ultimately, he was still unhappy. He was the one player who didn't become happy again. I would have liked to get our money back. We paid 2.5 for him, but yeah, he's just not quite developing as I would have liked. Tackling and marking aren't really at the level we need them to be for him. So, yeah, he goes off when the window opens in, in June. And, yeah, he will no longer be a Grindavik player. So, yeah, I don't know, let me think your thoughts of him. He was solid enough, but if you're unhappy, you don't want to be here, then bugger off, basically. Now, we have been playing the Icelandic League Cup, the pre-season cup we go through every year. So let's see how that's been going, starting with the first game against KA. We took an early lead when Deanna picked out Baltinson. Higuain made it 2-0 at half-time, before KA pulled one back. Iskala restored our 2-goal lead. And Johansson finished off some good build-up play for our 4th. Before Iskala made it 5-1. So this was used as a bit of a warm-up game for us when we were still in the Champions League, and it did show a little bit, didn't it? We were comfortably the better side, and to be honest, you'd hope that would be the case. Next up, it was IA, a tough one to get in the group. Gesarasan played in Gadini for the only goal. So we coasted through this one. We were comfortably the better side, and this was when new signings were here. So Degan played at the back, and did I play anybody else? I think No, the only thing I did do is the Brazilian's been playing in golf. Basically, he's going to play this whole cup and just see what happens. You know, if he can do well, then maybe someone will come in and take him off our hands for us. So shop window sort of thing. Next up, it was Stajan. And we could have still been playing this game 6 months later, and we would not have scored. Rojas made his debut off for this one, was absolutely shocking, and hopefully he improves from there because, yeah, it wasn't good. Anyway, next up, it was, I don't know how it's pronounced, but I say Phil Kier. Jonsson gave us the lead, and Iskala played in Gadini for our second. So we were absolutely dominant in this one. Should have scored more. Our XG was over 4. Penalty, yes, it helps it, but it's still, you've got to score more, don't you, when that's your XG. We'll put it down to early season rustiness. Again, we've changed the team up a little bit. This was starting to approach something that I would consider our best team right now, though I am still, as you can see, there playing 1 or 2 youngsters as well. Next game to catch you up on was the final game in the group. It was against KF, who are newly promoted into the second tier, and we had to get a draw to guarantee ourselves into the semi-finals. Gadini gave us an early lead. Astadi crossed for Gadini to double that lead, before Depe found Gadini for his hat-trick. And Jofferson made it 4-0 at half-time. Rojas got his first Grindavik goal for our 5th, but KF pulled one back, before Palacios scored one, and then crossed for Rojas to get our 7th. So yeah, we were just far too good for them. I mean, they're a new team up into the second tier, so not to be unexpected, I suppose. Palacios did quite well. Looks like he can more than fill in there on that right-hand side if we need to. And just to flag up, the guy who did the pass for the 6th goal, I think it was, for Palacios, was one of our youngsters, one of our academy kids, who is looking quite good. Arneson. Yeah, we have a lot of good midfielders at the club, and yeah, most of them have come through the club, which is very good. So that put us into the semi-finals, which we got drawn against Breederblink even. Antonio and Boutenson combined in the first minute. Breederblink pulled level, and then went ahead. But Jones crossed for Higuain to get us level, before bending in a stunner to put us ahead. But Carly got our 4th. And Boutenson sealed the win. So we got a little bit of a scare in this one, going 2-1 down. Really, I mean, it was inside 10 minutes. We were dominating the game up until that point. An interesting goal to concede the first one, wasn't it? And yeah, anyway, in the end, we were very, very comfortable. And again, this was more or less what I considered to be our best team, particularly we've got some happy players, less the goalkeeper, of course. So that put us into the final, and we were facing poor. Palacios picked out Boutenson to put us in front. Boutenson played in Bakali for our 2nd, before they combined again for our 3rd. Paul pulled one back after the break, and then they got a 2nd. Boutenson's effort fell for Bakali to get his hat-trick, before Palacios teed up Boutenson for our 5th. And he then completed his hat-trick. So we win the cup again. It was a little bit of a scare when they got back to 3-2, I've got to say, but a Boutenson hat-trick, a Bakali hat-trick as well, and it was very much job done. So well done to us. We've won the pre-season cup. We will go on now to see what we can do in terms of strengthening the squad further. I'd like to say there's going to be more, but honestly, I'm starting to worry there may not be. Alright, we are coming back. I have my excuses ready. We're really, really struggling to find players that make us better just players to make us better, really. I mean, I've got our shortlist here. Now, just if you're unfamiliar with my own self-imposed rule, I don't use the player search. The scouts have to find players. I shortlist the ones that maybe we might like to sign, and then I sort of sign from that. So these are the people that are interested in a transfer, and there's not, I mean, this guy would be okay as a winger. He'd be okay as a striker. He's the closest guy, actually, I've come to signing, to be honest with you. But I think his contract is up, is it? No, it's not. This is someone we could sign. He's only left-footed, though. He's not the greatest crosser. We have Higuain right now to play out there. We have Nellam to be his backup. So we would sign, look at the wages. We'd kind of be signing somebody for the sake of signing somebody. We don't need goalkeepers. I mean, an attacking midfielder, A+ rating, really. I mean, Bakali's better, Michalak is better. So why would we sign? I mean, I'd argue even that Ormarkson's better, to be honest. So I don't know why we would sign that, but just for the sake of signing. Another guy that's rated A+ here. I mean, as a striker, we've got three, or at least two in Baltinson and Godini that are better. Rojas we've just signed. So, you know, I think Rojas is better than him anyway. So, again, why would we go and sign him? The positions that I think we could strengthen is maybe a left-back. Are we completely convinced by Depe? I'm not sure we are. This is the highest-rated guy that can play left-back, but he's right-footed. There's not really anybody, I don't think, that makes us better. The other position we could maybe strengthen is right wing, perhaps. But Palacios has done really well over there. I don't think that Icelandic did that badly last year. If he's happy to stay, then that's good. There's just nobody. I mean, we could sign right backs, but we don't need right backs. We've got so many right backs at the club, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, this guy, again, he's a decent centre-back. Is he better than what we've got? He's probably roughly level, but it's signing for the sake of signing somebody. And yes, we have a lot of money to spend, but what I don't want to do is just spend it for the sake of spending it. You know what I mean? Another centre back here that is Brazilian. Yes, we could sign him, but why? You know, he's 20. He's not that great. So this is the problem that I'm running into. I just am not able to find players that are good enough. I can't spend the money, basically. So yeah, I'm still hopeful we can get something done, but I don't want to sign players just for the sake of signing players. That I think would be a bad thing. In terms of loanees, I mean, that's something that we could do. Loanees, though, I'd rather do when Europe's about to start, so the next window, because otherwise we just got these guys that we have to play that are taking game time away from our players that we own. The one player I am interested in is another Australian here. He's sort of the heir apparent, perhaps, to Bakali, but we can only get him on loan. And again, if we sign him on loan, he's going to want to play. And I think at this point, I'd rather give the game time to players that we have. So I'm not sure that I want to do that, but I'm very, very tempted to go and get him. But yeah, as you can see here, there's not even, like here, left backs. This guy's a right winger. We could sign him on loan. We might do it. The issue is that it's going to cost us loan fees and wages, and we have two good young right wingers. We don't need somebody to come in until until Europe starts anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm still, as I said, I'm still looking. I'm still trying to find players. I almost signed this guy in that I agreed a fee with Fulham. Not wanting to sell him anymore, but he was transferred, so I agreed a fee. He wanted up over 70 grand a week. We couldn't quite go that far. Degan also has a match highest earner clause, so I would basically be signing two players for that. So when we can, I didn't realize he had that. So when we can do that, we'll renegotiate a contract. When he's been here long enough, then we'll try and do that. I think he would be an upgrade. So he's someone I still would like to get in, but yeah, we'll have to wait. Now, he would be a foreign player as well. We already have a few of them. So yeah, it's just proving to be a little bit difficult to spend. We have all this money and sort of nowhere to spend it. So yeah, it's been very, very frustrating, but we're not done yet. And we have played the Charity Shield game as well. So we had IA in that. Let's go see how we did. We went ahead early when Palacios played in Baltinson. And it was 2-0 after Palacios ended a goalmouth scramble. Johnson picked out Baltinson for our third. And Degan got his first to make it 4-0. Before Palacios and Baltinson combined again for his hat-trick. So yeah, very, very comfortable. You can see we're not playing bad stuff. We look at good side, albeit against the level of opposition that we're playing against. If you're wondering, Mosquera, he broke his arm, so he hasn't played much. He hasn't played anything in preseason yet. He's just coming back now. But yeah, that is that. We've done a little bit of squad cleanup as well. Mostly loans. One guy's left permanently. So Hendrickson has gone out on loan. Most of these also have an option to buy at the end of it. So he's not quite developed how I would have liked. So he's off to Valor. We'll see him, or we won't see him, I guess, because he can't play against us. Bjornsson, another young winger, has gone out to Folgner. Jorgensen, who we signed, he was supposed to be good according to the scouts and wasn't. He's gone off to the first or the second tier, I should say. We sold one of our young gags at right back. Like I said, we've got so many right backs at the club, it's ridiculous. So he's not going to make it. So he's couldn't get into an Icelandic team, so he's gone off to, I don't know where that is. And the young centre back that we got on a free transfer, we sent him off to Finland for the season. He's going to play there, and hopefully he'll develop and maybe even become a little bit more ambitious. So that's that. We've still got a couple of weeks to go here, so hopefully something will come up and we can sign somebody this episode. Look, mate, I'm going to level with you. I really do need to get a transfer done, and I'd love you to be that transfer. Oh, mate, money is no object. Don't you worry about that. We're not ambitious enough. Mate, you're unambitious. Well, I really thought this was going to be the one. 3.5 million for Diego Barroso. He was a left back. A quick look at who rejected us. He just basically said he didn't want to negotiate a contract with us. I think he's a very good left back. We'll try and keep this alive if we can go back in for him at some point. But, you know, he's got good technique, tackling, physically solid, if not outstanding, but some good mental stats there, a good crosser of the ball as well. He would have been very nice. But instead, his unambitious personality said that we're not ambitious enough. So that is that. Can we call it a transfer special if no transfer? Technically, we transferred players out, so I guess that counts, doesn't it? But really sorry, guys. It's a little bit embarrassing sitting here at the end of a transfer special with no transfers. But anyway, let's have a look at the squad we have. And we'll start with the goalkeepers. Three decent options. Rafferson and Haffeldarsen are obviously the first two. We do have our Brazilian. If we haven't got him registered right now, ideally, I'd like to either sell him or loan him out. I think the issue that we have, if you can hear screaming children, I apologise. The issue we have, and I think I've had it with Parisi, is that because we're not in the European window, it's difficult to get a bit of a transfer bidding war going. So some of these guys I'll try and sell once sort of June rolls around, and we might be able to get a bit of a bidding war going, and therefore get more for our players. Left back for now, Depe is it's the number one choice. I do think we can upgrade on him, and I think that's what I was trying to do throughout most of the window. We do have Sonny Jonsson, or Johansson, I should say, as his backup. Tom Jones can also play over here. He can play off either foot. I'm wondering if maybe moving forward this year he is our best choice at left back, and we do have a lot of right backs, as we'll see momentarily. Collar, who's been at the club for a while now, came through our academy. His contract's up at the end of this year. I'll probably try to extend him if he's happy to stay. Why wouldn't I? But he's very much falling down the pecking order. Over to right back, and well, we've just seen Tom Jones. We've also got Juleson, who's a very solid right back for us. We've got Alberto Ramos, who we signed this time last year on a free transfer. I think it was this time last year. May have been actually in the summer window. But again, very solid option at right back. We've also got Astadi, who we signed, who's a very good option at right back. Also could play centre back quite easily. And Severson, who came through our academy, again dropping down the order a little bit. We need him because he's a gag, but otherwise yeah, he's kind of not really got a future, I don't think. Defensive midfielder, Deanna is obviously the number one man here. Happy, did I tell you he signed an extension? He signed an extension as well, so that's some news. Albert Jonsson is a good option back here. He's of course Icelandic, so we want him to stay as long as possible. Antonio is a good option as well. Still only 24. I don't know why I feel like he's approaching his 30s, but we've got a very young team. Gisarasen is another one that's come through the academy, is very solid. And we've still got a few more here options, actually. Gary Turpinson, who could play a little bit further forward as well. And Arneson, who we saw a little bit earlier on in the episode, the sort of the latest chip off the block, or what's the word? Kid coming through the academy. There's a phrase I'm looking for that's deserted me. The other one we have is Ingvason. He came through the academy as well. We're looking to move him on though, because well, he's fickle now, and he's just not quite it's not his fault. He's just not quite good enough for us. Further forward, I just kind of lumped all the other midfielders into this particular thing here. So Bakali is and will remain the number one option. He's just very, very good. Meshalek, we saw more from him last year. He was better. If he can take another step forward this season, that'll be huge. We just saw Albert Jonsson can play a little bit further forward. Damien Ormarkson is one of the academy kids. He's decent. He really, really is. Maybe just physically a little bit off. And another of the youngsters that's worth a look is Bjornsson here, 17. So we'll try and sort of get him involved in the first team squad a little bit more this season. Bring him off the bench in league games, things like that. Over on the left-hand side, Higuain is the first choice. Of course, he is only on loan, so I don't want to sort of commit too much to him, but while he's here, he's going to be first choice. Nelum is a solid option over here. If we were to get a good transfer fee for him, I'd be open to selling, but he covers a few positions well, so I'm not that desperate. And the youngster in this position is Josefsson. Now, he's actually been doing a little bit better than the red downward trends would suggest. He does need to improve a little bit more. I'm not convinced he's going to be with us good enough for us long term, but for now, he's sort of the option over there. We've got a couple of others. Bakali can play over there. Over on the right, there's sort of two guys fighting out for first choice. Iskala, who is happy again. I might see if I can get him to commit to a longer contract as well, but there's no desperate need to do that. And the other option right now is Palacios, and he's looked really good when he's played. I'd say he even looks better than those attributes would suggest. We do have Dagba Jatsen as a young academy kid. He's not really developing as I would have liked. He's 21 now as well, so another one we might look to move on. But those are the main guys over there. And then if we go up front, Baltinson is and will remain the number one for as long, the number one option, I should say, up front for as long as we can get him. He's still only 19. What a player he could be. Gadini, obviously, been around for a long, long time now, 24, and just continues to get the job done for us. The new man this season is Rojas. We'll see how he settles in. He's had a little bit of a hit and miss off season, but again, he's going from Chile to Iceland. He is going to take a little bit of time to adjust. Nelum we've seen, and the sort of the young striker, we had a little bit of interest for him from the other sort of Nordic countries. I would like to keep him for now, but Pedersen, yeah, we'll see what he develops into. He's just got to improve his finishing. There's not much wrong with him as a striker other than the finishing and maybe some physicals there. But that is what we have. Let me know what you think. Again, just real apologies we weren't able to get any signings done. It wasn't through lack of trying. I've been sitting here for over 6 hours trying to find players, so I'm absolutely knackered, and to go through all that for nothing is quite disappointing, I can tell you, from my point of view. But anyway, we'll be back next time. We start the league. Vala and Folgner both away in the league, so that'll be an interesting and tough one. We'll do like we usually do. We'll sort of play an A team and a B team, get a look at everybody, see where we stand. There's still a little bit of time left in the transfer window, but honestly, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I just don't want to sign a player for the sake of signing them. We've got young players that are getting better, so even without signing anybody, and we did sign 3 players. This is why I shouldn't show you before the transfer special, isn't it? So we should get better anyway. We've got 3, or at least 2, and we'll see what happens with Rojas. Decent players in. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, until then, guys, I've been Aussie Bill, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.